What is going on YouTube? Welcome to another quick video. Today we're going to be doing a pretty simple mod, but something that I think every Wrangler owner should have, or probably already has, to be quite honest with you. So if you're doing any sort of camping, any sort of overlanding, or maybe you just like to drive up to really cool spots to do work from, and you need a computer desk that you can sit on, maybe the tailgate's a good spot. Anyways, when you're out camping, it is a really good spot. So what we've done is we ordered just a cheap Amazon table. I will link it in the description. There are so many of these out there, anywhere from $50, I think that's what we paid for this one, $50, $60, all the way up to like $400, $500. I think the Mopar one is like $400. So anyways, it's really up to you and what you have as far as budget goes. We went with the cheapo Amazon option, and I am gonna be doing some modifications to it. I looked at it, it's pretty similar to some of the higher end ones. Some of the areas where I saw there might be a weakness are the cables. So there's little cables, which I'll show you, the straps that hold the table. Once it opens up, there could be some potential weakness there. We're not gonna be putting a ton of weight on there. So we'll look at ways to improve that. And then if you need a cutting table, there's a lot of ideas that I saw out there, not mine specifically, but just some that I saw on the forum. So let's get right to it. We're gonna be installing this right here on the tailgate. And I apologize for the dark, not a whole lot of light in here. But as you all know, we are stuck inside. It is raining and ugly outside. So this is a table that goes right here. You remove these panels and drill a couple of holes, and it bolts up pretty easily. So let me grab the table. We'll set this up. I'll put the camera to do a little time lapse on there, and we'll throw this thing on there. All right, so let me grab the box. I've got it right here. And grab all the components that go along with this thing, and hopefully we can knock this out pretty quickly. Here's the box for it. It's about the same size as the tailgate itself. Let me take out some of the things that are in here, just to kind of show you everything that it comes with. And again, I'll post a link down in the description if you guys are interested in getting your own version of it, or if you've got one yourself and you've got experience with these and want to make a recommendation, please leave it in the comments, let me know, and we'll go from there. So first thing we got to do is pop this cover out. Now I've done this one before by hand, so let me see if I can still do it. Yep. So this will pop right out pretty easily. It just pops out. Just be careful, there's clips everywhere, and just kind of work your way out. So you can see pretty easy. Now, this calls for removing this piece right here. It's a two-piece, as you can see. Hopefully it's not terribly dark. So I will try to pop this. There we go. So as you can see, this pops out, has a little bit of padding in there, because you are going to have to drill through here. So take that off. Let me put it out of the way. Put this down here. Here are the instructions. Hopefully you can see some of that. So once you remove the cover and you pop out the rear, the next steps are going to be to drill a couple of holes on here. So let me get some measurements going. The way this goes on here, if I unwrap some of these pieces right here, let me cut these too so we can. All right, so the way these go, and this is pretty cool. It actually has, hopefully you can see it through there. It's got the little Jeep pattern, which is pretty cool right over here. So this is gonna go on here, and you're gonna have one on each side. And then you've got the table. I know a lot of you have seen these before, so nothing new to you. Then the table kind of locks into place, and this will fold down. So you have a nice little work area. Again, you can do work on your laptop if you're doing some remote work. You can cook on here. There's a lot of things you can do. I think the maximum weight on this one was 45 pounds, 35 or 45, somewhere around there. I'll double check that for you and link that in the description. Again, we still need to tie off this CV cable in here. We'll do that at some other time. But let me go ahead and get some measurements, and we'll drill these pieces so we can put them on there. So I've got the drill. So the reason you pop this little cover off from the big cover is so that you can do drilling through the back. There's gonna be two holes. Hopefully you can see them right here. You're gonna drill through here and through here, and it's all in the instructions. If you look at the instructions, of course, make sure you read those and follow those. But you can kind of see back here where it shows you, I don't know if it's gonna adjust or not. Anyways, so you're gonna drill, you're gonna use a 5/16 drill bit, or you can use a 13 millimeters. Either one will work through. So I've got the drill ready to go. It is plastic, so just be a little careful. And let me just double check, make sure this is the right spot. Yep, so you can see on here. So let's go ahead and drill, try to give it some support. And try to center as much as I can. This is pretty easy, as you can see. I mean, this is not gonna take a whole lot. Trying to center this as much as I can. pretty easy. And boom, there we have the two little holes in here. Okay, so the next steps are pretty straightforward. Put all this back together so that we can screw this in here. I believe, as you can see, it already has a couple of spots where you can screw things in. So this should go right in. So let me put this up real quick and make sure that we've got the right ones in here. But it's all pre-drilled, a bunch of different spots where you can mount some of these things, which is really cool from Jeep to do that, both on that side and on this side. All right, hopefully I'm not too much in the way here. All we gotta do is snap this back on, kind of take a look so that you see where they snap in. Once you've got them aligned, just tap them in gently. You shouldn't have to force any of the stuff. It snaps right in really easily. And I just wanna make sure that these come out of the right spot. And just kind of press with your hand and you should be good to go. All right. So the next steps we have on here are going to be to start adding some of the hardware. Actually, let me back up a quick second. I forgot two holes. If you can see, there's the bottom holes that you also have to drill out. And there's actually already a guide for you. There's one right down here, closer to the outside of the tailgate. And then the other one is right down here. And you're looking for these little sort of like punch holes. They're already there. So drill two holes in there as well. These will act like the guide. Just double check, make sure you are drilling in the correct spot. Straightforward. And let's do this one real quick. And again, there's already like a punch hole guide. I don't know what you call those things, but they're already there, so I missed those two. And you can see you're gonna have 4, and these should all line up to the same thing you've got on the diagram over here. All right, so let me put this one back in here. I think we're back in business. You shouldn't have to do a whole lot to this right here. So the brackets are kind of cool because they already show you, which one's right, which one's left, and you can see the way that the holes are lined up, how this is gonna go right here. All right, so we've got the holes drilled in, and what you gotta do is you gotta put in these little, they give it kind of support so that the bolt's not being tightened, or the tailgate, or not tailgate, but the little table will have something firm to be tied against, which is these little, like I said, metal aluminum tubes that go into the holes. I will say one thing, I did use a 13 millimeter per the instructions. I do have to make that hole a little bit bigger. It's not very hard, like I said, this is pretty soft plastic. Oops, whoopsie. There we go, that wasn't in all the way. It's just a plastic cover, so luckily it's gonna get covered up by. And then just kind of feel, you don't want to make the hole too big, just kind of feel where this is gonna fit in there. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more. I don't have a bigger drill bit. That's the biggest I've got, which is what the instructions called for, but unfortunately, I don't know if it's lost in translation, lost in metric and standard, who knows. And I'm doing it where it's pretty snug. I don't want it to be super loose. So I'm making it just enough where it'll be pretty snug in there, as you can see. That should help give some stability and support to this. All right, so there we go. And they should go right in. So now we've got, let's see. So we've got the shorter one at the top. And I think that might be a T25, I could be wrong, but this aligns pretty good here. All right, so let me show you what that looks like. It's pretty sturdy on there. I think as far as our review, the build quality is pretty good. The only thing that I read in some of these, and again, I don't know which manufacturer shipped it out, that there might be some weakness with the cables themselves. I mean, they look pretty sturdy, but I'll keep an eye on it. Like I said, I'm not planning on putting super heavy stuff on here. The brackets are pretty nice. I think they're stainless steel, or I don't think it's aluminum, and they're coated. So I would say what would have given this a little bit, and it's not tightened all the way, but it would have given it a little more rigidity or strength, would have been maybe drilling something here, but I don't think there's a way to screw it in the back behind us. So that's probably why they picked these two mounting points over here. But that would have helped for some strength, and I'll make that a little bit tighter now. All right, so let's just make this a little bit tighter. Like I said, I think this is a T25. That's pretty tight, and it's not gonna move a whole lot. I think it's on there pretty good. Like I said, the hardware is pretty decent for the price. I've seen, I mean, that's on there pretty good. But I do think that if there was a way to get a third one in here, this would be super strong. I do love the little Jeep touch right there. I think that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get the other side in place. Feel around for the hole real quick. And you may have to come back to retighten those. You could probably put a little Loctite on there too. It is on there pretty good. I don't think this is gonna get loose very often, but just to be, and it is nice how it's got the metal. I mean, that's on there pretty good. I think you'd break those screws before this would come out. All right, so we've got that in place. So the next steps is to get the top in there, or not the top, but you guys know what I mean. It's gonna go right here, which is really cool, and it'll fold up like this. Hopefully that's not super loud for you guys. And then you've got a tab that'll hold it in place. Really cool. So my plan is to add a little cutting table that will store away in here somewhere, and then maybe attach it to this once you have it open and use it as extra table space. Now we're talking. That should be a little bit better. So let me put this one over here. Grab this one. There we go, that's better. And put this back over here, do the same thing. So it is under pretty tight. I wonder if that's something you can loosen a little bit and kind of adjust some. I feel like that little plastic washer is gonna wear out eventually. There we go. Now, there it is. Hopefully you can see that okay. It's pretty cool. I gotta say, I like this. All right, so I did one side real quick just so it would help me get this on here. So let me do this side so you can actually see what we did here. So the first one is, take the small one. And I think one key thing here with this, the reason why I've seen some of these brakes, these are not very thick. I don't think it's the cable itself, but I think it might be this little piece right here. So I would not over tighten this at all. I'm just doing it by hand, to be honest with you. And I want it to be able to move. I think that's the key right there. If you make this tight, when you pull the gate down, hopefully you can see what I'm talking about. If you make this really tight, this won't be able to articulate or move. So what's gonna happen is it's gonna either bend this or break the cable itself. So I'm just gonna do it by hand and keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't fall out. Maybe a little Loctite on that thing would be really helpful. And then the other piece is gonna be right here. All right, let's try this again. I had a call come in and it cuts off my, my flashlight. I'm using the phone as a flashlight. Like I said, I'm working in the garage. Probably should do these in the day, but I'm bored. Nothing to do. I got off of work and I'm like, I need to go do something to entertain myself and keep creating some videos. Not super exciting stuff, of course. Hopefully you guys watched the one from Saturday when we went over to Alabama. If you haven't, I'll link it up here in the corner somewhere. Definitely check that one out. I think it was pretty cool. We did a little river crossing out in Little River. I think it's called Little River Canyon. I'm so terrible with names. Anyhow, you're just watching my hairy arms right now, so I'll speed this up. But basically, you just make sure that you don't over tighten these. I think that's the key for these not to get busted up. Make sure this has room to flex, because when it closes, I want this to go the other way and be out of the way, so you can tuck that in real nice in there. And that is it, guys. And you can also adjust the height. There's actually 2 points where you can mount this. There's one a little bit lower over here if you want to move it down. I thought if you're going to put something so it doesn't slide off, but if you want to make it a little bit flatter, you can move those over. All right, guys, there it is. We've got the little table installed. Hopefully you can see this thing. I know it's really dark, but you kind of get the gist of it. And I'll just flip this over. And it's got little locking things. This cable is trying to go a different way, so you just have to play with the way the cables fold in. They can tuck away in here. It's really up to you. So you can shove them in there if you like, kind of out of the way. But it's actually a really cool table. So highly recommend it for 30-40 bucks. Again, if you're out camping and you need a work area, either to put your stove or any kind of cooking materials that you may be using, your little gas stove, or just to put stuff there. If you're just making sandwiches, a good place to put your bread, peanut butter and all the good stuff on there. All right, everybody, thanks for watching and tuning in once again. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, there's plenty of videos out there, plenty of choices. It's really up to you what your budget is. For me, as far as a review goes, I think the part for the money is pretty good. Like I said, I've seen tables that cost 3 times the amount that we paid for this one on Amazon, and they're the same build material. The only thing that's different is the cables. The good news is, if that is the weakness on this, you can go to any sort of home store, kind of like a Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever you've got in your area, and build cables. They do sell steel cables there. They do sell the loop, forget what those are called, for the ends that you crimp on at the end. So easily you could upgrade, because I feel like the table can hold way more weight. It might be something with the tailgate where you want to be mindful of, you know, we've got 35s already on there, and you might have a bigger tire, 37 or a 40. So of course you have to be mindful. Of course, if you do have a tire that big, you probably have a bumper gate or bracket or something to give it that extra support. So it's really up to you. But for those that are on a budget or don't want to spend a whole lot of money, and again, how many times are you going to use it? If you're out camping, you'll use it a lot. But if it's just something you'll use every once in a while, you know, for 50, 60 US dollars, yeah, you cannot beat the price. I think the build quality is pretty good. I like the design with the Jeep on there. I'll give you an update later on after we use it a couple times, see if I still feel the same way. But if not, we'll look at a different option, right? And again, if you've got any recommendations, share your stories, your comments. If you haven't followed the channel, please do give us a thumb, a like. And once again, thanks for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you on the next one.